What's better than 45 megapixels? Well, the answer is 102 megapixels. You might be asking the question, why have I got an R5 and a medium format camera in my hand? Well, the answer is I was at the photography show recently and I was offered a deal I couldn't refuse on this Fuji. I've been looking at them for a while and I've decided to give it a go. So it's not replacing my Canon. I think they'll work quite well together. But this is the first day I've been using the Fuji, so I'm out just this evening to give it a go, see how it feels, just try and get used to it. So I'm actually going away in a few days to Namibia, so I'm taking it with me on that trip, and you'll see some of the footage from that later on when I get back. But first of all, no review video would be complete without an unboxing, so let's check it out. Let's see what's in the box. So I've got this as a kit with the 35 to 70mm lens, which is about equivalent to 28 to 55 in full frame. So fairly good kind of standard lens. So we've got some instruction manual. We have a battery. This is a fairly standard Fuji battery, I think. It fits quite a few of their cameras. A USB cable, add to my collection. Have a strap, have a little cable tidy that I think this clips on the side of the camera, and if you're running a HDMI cable in for running an external screen, it keeps it secure. We have some plug socket adapters and a charger that goes with them. Some more adapters. Move this out of the way. And in a rather crinkly bag, have the camera. So initial impressions, it's a little bit bigger and slightly heavier than my Canon R5. I like the styling of it. It's fairly slab-sided, very square. It's got quite a retro style, which I quite like. It's got nice textured coating on the body, like a rubber coating, so it's nice and grippy. It feels very nicely made, really good quality. Big screen on top, and it's got a little LCD screen on the back. So yeah, it feels good. Controls are nicely to hand. It's got a nice little ridge here for my thumb, and looking forward to giving it a go. So let's head outside and give it a try. Okay, now you've seen what was in the box. I'm back at Tower Bridge. It's a Thursday evening, just before sunset. I'm not sure the colours are going to be that great, but I'm just here to give it a go, see how it feels, get used to it. There's obviously differences between this and the Canon in terms of the controls, but initial thoughts really, it's very similar size to the Canon, a little tiny bit bigger, slightly heavier, probably not a huge amount in it. The Canon's curvier, it's a little bit smoother feel in my hand. The Fuji's kind of much sharper edges. It's got a nice retro style to it, which I like. It's got a little control dial on the top. There's a nice big screen on here which gives you a live status of all your settings, and you can actually switch this over to be a live histogram, which is quite useful, I think. I found that the touchscreen configuration settings, it's not quite as easy to navigate as the Canon. Maybe that's just because I'm more familiar with the Canon after years of using them. I think the Canon's slightly more user-friendly. You can use the touchscreen on here for setting shutter speed, aperture, etc., which I don't think you can do on the Fuji. But overall, it feels like a really nice camera to use, really nice quality. So I'm really looking forward to giving it a go, and let's see how it fares. So, what are my thoughts? It's too early to say really. I've only used it for literally half an hour or so. But from what I've seen, it's obviously a fantastic quality camera. There's a lot of menu options and configuration settings, so I need to read the manual for that. It does things slightly different to my R5, which is to be expected. It did a couple of things, I wasn't quite sure why, like the self-timer turned off after a few shots, and I'm still trying to figure out the focusing options, but overall I've enjoyed using it. It's got some really nice features, so one of them is you can press the rear command dial and it zooms in to where it's focusing, which is really useful. But I'm going to get home, download the images and have a look. I've also taken a couple of shots with my R5 as well, so I can have a look and see how they compare. I'm not expecting to see a massive difference, especially when I upload them or put them on this video and you see them on YouTube. But it'd be interesting to actually see what the difference between more than double the number of megapixels. Like I say, this isn't going to be an in-depth technical review. There's plenty of those out there, but this is really just an initial thoughts. And I'm looking forward to using it in Namibia in a few days. So if you'd like to watch those videos, then please do hit the subscribe button, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Right, I've downloaded the images into Lightroom and I've been having a quick look at them. I've done a very basic edit on them, so just kind of basic levels and colour adjustments. I've set the white balance to the same level. First things to notice, obviously the framing I used, I zoomed in slightly more with the Canon, which is going to should bring a bit more detail out. The Fuji is a slightly wider view. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. And like I said, this isn't meant to be a proper scientific technical review. It's really just my first thoughts. So although it's not ideal, this should be good enough to get an indication of the differences. The other thing to notice is obviously the Fuji image is taller. So this is using a 4:3 format. And the Canon is a 3:2 format, which is a slightly wider format. Obviously, you can crop the Fuji one down if you need to, and crop it down to whatever format you want. But it just gives you a bit more height if you're doing, if you want a slightly squarer image. So anyway, let's have a look and go into a bit of detail. So let's pick an area that would be good to compare. So I think first things actually first, I think the exposures are very similar on both. It's very hard to tell the difference looking at these two together at this zoom range. So let's zoom in to here, to this spot. So this is, okay, looking at this building. So this is zoomed into 400%. So this is getting into the realms of proper pixel peeping. I wouldn't normally look into images in this detail, but I think you need to see the differences. So we've got the Canon on the left, and I think the first initial thoughts are it's got a slight graininess to it. You can see here the sort of the banding in the sky slightly, whereas on the Fuji it's a smoother, it's kind of like buttery smooth, very nice feel to the image. In terms of detail in the building, I'd say they're not far off. And the crane as well, the lines in the crane, I'd say, yeah, the Fuji is resolving a tiny bit more detail, but it's not, you really have to kind of zoom in quite a lot to see any difference. And obviously the Canon image is more zoomed in anyway, so that will make a slight difference, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. Detail in the building, again, it's, the Fuji is just a little bit cleaner, a bit more detail. Anyway, let's pick another area. So let's go for this bit of the bridge. Okay, we can see a little bit more difference here. On the Canon image, it's struggling to resolve the rivets and the metalwork of the bridge. Whereas if you look here on the Fuji, you can pretty much pick out each individual rivet, which I think is amazing given the size of these and the size of the image. I mean, if we just zoom out again, that's just that tiny little area there. We zoom in and you could count the number of rivets here, which I'm very impressed with. And again, up on this lower level of the walkway, you can almost pick out each individual rivet there. If we go down a bit further into this more of a shadows area, I think as well, the Fuji's just bringing out a tiny bit more detail in the shadows as well. But I think overall, it's very close to cool. The Fuji's obviously better. I'm really impressed by the amount of detail it pulls out. The Canon is, again, I'm really impressed by how close it's getting. It's got less than half the number of pixels and a smaller sensor. Although to be honest, it's not that much of a surprise. The R5, it's one of the best mirrorless cameras out there. It's one of the best full frame cameras out there at the moment. So I'm not surprised it's giving the Fuji a good run for its money. No, I'm really impressed. I'm glad I've got both, to be honest. I'm not sure I could pick which one I prefer out of the two. Obviously, the Canon is a more flexible camera. It's a lot faster. It's got different features with autofocus, a lot more lens choice, etc. But I think for the ultimate quality, the Fuji is just that little tiny bit better. And I'm really looking forward to using it more and seeing what I can get out of it. I mean, also bear in mind, I've literally just used this for half an hour. I've not really got to grips with how to extract the best from it. So hopefully with a bit of time and experience, I can bring out a little bit more quality. And as I said before, it's not quite zoomed in as much as well, which might make a difference. But overall, really impressed, really looking forward to using it. And I think I'll wrap the video up here. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.